Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of October 16th to the 22nd of 2023. All right, so this week we are coming off of that solar eclipse that we just had last Saturday. And so we are just slowly building momentum this week for the lunar month. But it is a very important lunar month being an eclipse month. And so in this case, it's really good to challenge ourselves to make these shifts and changes along our life journey. And so these are new beginnings to our life path, and here anything that can be about incorporating more of the Virgo energy, more of healthy improvement, healthy personal development, refinement, our work, our service, all that detail-oriented energy of Virgo is great to be implementing. That's where the solar eclipse started. That's what this lunar month is likely fundamentally about. And anything we can build momentum with that, again, in healthy ways, because it is an eclipse. There are some maybe unhealthy elements of that Virgo we're still clearing this whole lunar month. So new healthy ways of developing that improvement-oriented nature. Now, the aspects are quite interesting. There's really one main aspect we have this week. It's concentrated around the Thursday-Friday time period. And it's that Mercury is going to conjoin the Sun. And they're both going to be over the South Node when they do this. And they're both going to be squaring up to Pluto. And so here in this sense, there is certainly some clearing and releasing that can happen towards the later part of the week, around that Thursday, Friday time period, making peace with things, accepting what comes up, but also reconnecting with our soul roots. And here, maybe some things from our past, maybe some things from past life even, can come up for a gift, even an acceptance, an embracement, in order to, again, facilitate these new beginnings. It might be good to challenge ourselves with facing fears and empowering ourselves with the square to Pluto, but it can end up being very constructive. And it's over the weekend that we are in the first quarter phase of the lunar cycle, so it's good to challenge ourselves anyways this part of the month. And then we have a couple other aspects as well with trines to Jupiter and Saturn. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, October 16th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. You will notice a lot of the sign placements are different. For example, if you're coming from mainstream, you probably heard that the eclipse is in Libra. So definitely check out the link down below if you're new to this form of astrology, because the signs change and the placements change. Now, let's go and do a little bit of a recap. We don't have any major sign changes. We haven't had any major ones recently, but it's still good to note that Venus is still in Leo this week. And so it's still good to be enjoying and connecting to our self-expression and playfulness and creative energy, and also in those relationships as well. And yes, the concentration of energy is still very much in Virgo. Mercury, the Sun, and Mars is still here. And of course, where we just had that solar eclipse, this is the solar eclipse last Saturday, which was a South Node eclipse next to Mercury and Mars. And here we are coming into the week with the moon starting to enter Libra. So great to focus on improvements, refinements, getting into the details again in these new and healthy ways. There's likely some past patterns regarding, this more improvement-oriented nature, work, service, routines, that maybe do need to get flushed out, do need to get released. And that could definitely be this whole lunar month, and even around that Thursday, Friday time when the Sun and Mercury will conjoin over the South Node like that. The South Node is the past energy, and the way that is typically best to work with it is to take a more yin approach to the past energy. We don't want to put yang towards the past energy, right? This would be symbolic of us sort of turning around on our path and starting to walk down the path behind us, where we're coming from. But we do want to make sure that we're receiving from the South Node. And so in order to do that, what we've found with astrology is it favors a much more accepting and grateful approach. And so anything we can accept and be grateful for in our life regarding our work, service, improvement, health, personal development, all these things that we have control over in life that Virgo represents, making peace with them, accepting them, and being grateful for them, is a great way of working with this. And then it allows the gifts of life to come in, because the South Node is where life is providing for us. And so, we do get the gifts from life here. And so there could certainly be, of course, new beginnings. And I would say new, healthier beginnings regarding the healthier side of Virgo, the healthier improvement, refinement, right, details, analytical, right, improvement, orientation, all being done in a more balanced and constructive way. So it's a twofold process. One is the clearing process, and then the other one is the really receiving, the yin, and receiving from life in terms of these new beginnings. So I think it's a great way of working with this whole lunar month in this way, but also this week, especially towards that later part, as we'll talk about when the Sun, Mercury, and South Node conjoin. But as you can see, that is where all the aspects are concentrated anyways. But let's go ahead and take a look at Monday. So Monday, the moon shifts into Libra. The moon will be in Libra on Tuesday as well. So these first couple days are good for, along with building new beginnings with the lunar cycle, a bit of balance and an orientation that's around doing the right thing. So Libra is all about the scales, and it's all about bringing things back into a sort of karmic balance. And so seeing if there's anything out of balance in our life that we can bring back to balance, and in our interactions with others, focusing on mutual agreement, what is moral, ethical, what's right, tend to be a good way of, again, balancing those scales. So that's going to place the theme there Monday, Tuesday. When we do get to Wednesday, the moon will go into deep Scorpio. And so here it could be a good day for uncovering the deeper dimensions of life, both within ourselves and just in life in general. So it favors things like research, the esoteric, the hidden, uncovering deep stuff there. And of course, in our own life, healing and redemption and personal transformation. Right. And in relationships, depth, intimacy, and building trust are also really good there. Then on Thursdays, where we start to get into the real strong energy astrologically. So the moon will go into Ophiuchus, which is the more healing side of that deeper Scorpio energy. So it is a great day there on Thursday for all types of healing, whether they're physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, whatever they might be. And again, that is where we have the stellium here between the Sun, Mercury, and the South Node all going conjunct at the same day exact. And so here, fundamentally, we have the Sun, which represents our vital life force, our self-expression, fundamentally who we are in terms of our outer consciousness. We have Mercury, the planet of our mind and communication. And then, of course, we have that South Node, which is the releasing. So it's all in the context of the South Node, which is this clearing, releasing, and new beginnings emerging from that space. And so we can see new beginnings with our self-expression, with who we are, how we view life, which is the Sun. And Mercury, our mind, our perspective, how we're thinking about things, right? And perhaps even our interactions with others in terms of communications. So again, just a good couple days there to listen, to receive, to create space. It's a great day for more spiritual activities, especially if it can be Virgo in terms of, again, that personal development or healthy routine, something that requires some of that self-discipline there. But yeah, really listening, creating that space, and seeing what new is arising, what life is calling us to clear, what new can arise, and so that we can continue this, very important lunar month of what is really personal development with Virgo, but all types of improvements and things like our work and service and things like that are again getting recalibrated here this month. And so it is on Friday that we do come to the first quarter moon as well, and this new moon, or this stellium, will be squaring up to Pluto. So the squares do tend towards more of having to challenge ourselves, and so in this context, challenging ourselves in regards to any new things we've set out to do since last week, since last Saturday, since the solar eclipse. So this is the part of the lunar month where we come to usually our first challenges of the cycle, where it's good to challenge ourselves. And here in the context of, again, any new perspectives, any new beginnings, literally, that have come into your life since last weekend, is really good to now have the tire meet the road and implement and integrate into our life with conscious and active intention. Now, with the squares up to Pluto, again, that could be bringing up some of the having to face our fears and empower ourselves. Now, squares, again, can be extremely constructive. They're really the time of the year or the month that the most gets done. There's the most growth. It's this sort of, the pressure that we grow through and we transform through in the case of Pluto. So anything that's intentional with, first of all, again, being non-attached, I think is great with Pluto. Pluto always shows us a sense of non-attachment. And from that non-attachment, we can then see where we don't necessarily need to give our power away to these externals or to these things that are outside of us that we might be giving our power away in the form of fear or attachment or security or safety or wherever else, and usually quite instinctual side of ourself that wants to, hold on to things in the external world, which is of course natural and normal, but Pluto helps us free ourselves from those attachments. And so starting off being non-attached really sets a good stage for the square to Pluto. And in this case, then we become more self-empowered, right? Because we're no longer giving our power away to these externals. And so it's really a time of reclaiming our true power that cannot be taken away unless we give it away. And this can be an extremely empowering and transformative weekend here. So great to face fears, great to do things in the face of any inhibitions, reclaim that power, pursue things in life that are fundamentally important to us, deeply meaningful to us, not the surface or not the doing things for the safety or security, but doing it because it's really true to us and true to our core. Makes this a fantastic weekend for these things. Very constructive, very empowering, very transformative, certainly with the South Node and eclipse season being in play as well. All right, so great weekend for that. And then once we start to get into the Friday time, we will have the moon shifting into Sagittarius, which is in many ways the sort of post-healed energy of Ophiuchus. So along with the squares to Pluto also come with it a bit of free-spiritedness and adventurousness that can be certainly utilized both Friday and Saturday. That's the more expansive, usually easier energy to work with there of Sagittarius. And then as we start to get really close to Sunday, with the moon going into Capricorn, it could be good to start to incorporate maybe some discipline in our life responsibilities, especially because Mercury will be trining Saturn on Sunday. And so this can give us really a grounded mind, grounded perspective, and again, support from Saturn, which is discipline and perseverance. Venus will be trining Jupiter, which is really adding to the expansive energy perhaps of the weekend or of the Friday-Saturday time, because Jupiter is the Sagittarius energy, and so in this case expanding Venus things, which are our enjoyments, our values, our relationships. And so it could be some support there in terms of enjoying life and enjoying our connections in a way that's a bit free or open-minded or adventurous, which is great. All right, everyone, so that is the week in a nutshell. As you can see, the concentration of the astrological energy is here over the later part of the week. This is where we come to the first quarter moon of this solar eclipse month, which is again good to challenge ourselves. Tire meets the road, integration, action, implementation of what it is that we've either set out to do since last Saturday or life has been prompting us to do since last Saturday. And in this case, challenging ourselves to really release and clear the energy with the South Node, and create that space for new things to be gifted to us, to be given to us by life. And in that sense, really reconnecting with really who we truly are. And I think with Pluto really reclaiming again that personal power, that empowerment that Pluto provides there. And so good to challenge ourselves with the clearing and releasing, and also, again, practicing non-attachment and reclaiming that personal power is a great way of working with this as well. It's nice to see that we have that support from Jupiter and Saturn here. And so the support with Jupiter is on those relationships and values and enjoyments of life. and the support with Saturn is particularly on Mercury, the planet of our mind, routines, and communications. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. Hope this was helpful. Thank you again for all of your support. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't yet gotten your True Sidereal report, there's a link down below for that. There's a free report that you get by just entering your birth details, and then also a paid report if you want the full printout of all of your planetary placements in your natal chart. So do check that out if you haven't yet. But again, have a great week, everyone. And I'll see you all next week for the next astrology forecast. Take care.